Shavua Tov. In the Torah portion that we read this morning, the Torah describes the process of a Nazir, a Nazirite, someone who takes upon himself to abstain from wine, from cutting his hair, from other restrictions meant to turbocharge his spiritual growth. And the Torah describes at the end of this whole process that this man shall appear before the Kohen, before the priest in the temple. And the Torah says a strange wording. The Torah says that this man, Yavi Oso, somebody should bring this man. And yet Rashi, right there, the chief commentator on the Torah, interjects, and Rashi says, not somebody else is not bringing him, he's bringing himself. He has to go from his own free will. So the question obviously begs to be asked, if he's bringing himself, why does the Torah word it in a way that seems like somebody else is bringing him? Yavi Oso means somebody, he, whoever that is, should bring him. And yet we know from Rashi that it doesn't mean that. It means he shall bring himself. So why the discrepancy? Rabbi Meir Simcha of Dvinsk in the early 1900s provides a very powerful idea to answer this question. He says, what's the goal of the Nazir? Why does one become a Nazir? Somebody becomes a Nazir because he realizes that he's too entrenched in his physical life. His Yetzer Hara, his evil inclination, has gotten a hold of him, and he needs to take a step back from physicality. So he doesn't drink wine, which is obviously an expression of physicality. He doesn't cut his hair, that's beauty, and other things that are meant to drive a little bit of a wedge between him and physicality. But when does he know that he's accomplished his goal? How does he know when he's on the other side, so to speak, and he's ready to end the process and become back a normal person into civilization? Says Reb Meir Simcha, when he's able to take a step back and see that his evil inclination or the sins that he's committed are not him. That's not his identity. It's not who I am. Yes, I have fallen, and yes, I've done many wrongdoings in my life, and yes, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. But I am who I am, and there's a sin, or there's an evil thing inside of me. There's an evil inclination that's causing me to sin. When I can get to a point where I don't identify my very being with the wrongdoing, with the physicality, with the debasement that I've made myself into, then I am ready to complete the process of being a Nazir. Because the goal is not necessarily to eradicate all the sin from within you. The goal is to realize that there's so much more to you than sin, and to take the broader picture of who you are and to use that as a tool against the Yetzer Hara, against the evil inclination, and say, yes, I can identify him. I can put him in his corner. He's there, but that's not me. And that's a huge step forward. And that's Yavi Oso, because it's as if he's saying, he will bring him. The man himself is bringing the Yetzer Hara. That's another part of me, but that's not me. So I'm able to identify and separate myself from the sin, from the Yetzer Hara, from the evil inclination. At that point, I'm ready to end my Nazir process. And that's why the Torah uses this wording of, he will bring him. Who's bringing who? The man is bringing his other part of him, the part that caused him to sin. But he's at the point, says the Torah, where he can separate that and realize there's two different parts. And that's why he's able to end the Nazir process. That's why he has completed his mission in becoming a Nazir and reached his goal, and he's ready to move on and fight this battle for the rest of his life. Shavua Tov.